Kairete, I have a book recommendation. This is Xenophon's Apology of Socrates. You might have heard of it before. It is an interlinear edition, which is what makes it so special. It's been edited and translated by Alberto Avanzini. I assume he's Italian, so I'm going to say his name in the Italian way. Alberto Avanzini. So what is an interlinear? If you haven't heard of one before, it's where you have the translation, usually word for word or phrase by phrase, especially small little phrases, the commata, translated for you into a language that's more familiar to you. In this case, it's English. And what I love about Alberto Avanzini's edition is that he also has a fluid English translation of each phrase as well. For example, right here on the first page of the first line, Sokratus de axiomoi doke nai memnestai. Literally, of Socrates, but worthy, to me it seems, to have remembered. Very strange in English, but it helps us get into the ancient Greek idiom. But just to help us out a little bit more, there is that English fluid translation below. Socrates, however, it seems to me worthy to remember. I agree with you, Xenophon. And it goes that way all the way through this relatively short, very easy to use reader. I really love interlinears. There's so many tools we can use to get from that late beginner intermediate stage, early intermediate stage, towards the end of the intermediate stage, where we're reading a lot of real literature with minimal assistance from translations or glosses, and where we know almost all the words that we're reading. We have to make use of all of them, and I made a lot of videos about that. So I really love and that's one of the reasons I really love interlinears. They're definitely labor-intensive, so I very much respect the work that Alberto Avanzini's done. And he has another one, actually, which is Epictetus' Enchiridion. Now, I haven't read this one yet. I'm looking forward to it. I've never read anything by Epictetus except for, a few passages here and there, so I'm looking forward to reading the entire thing. This is a longer volume here, but it's the exact same style. Just look how lovely this is. Here, let's see if we can go to random page here. Oh, right. So there would be chapter 28, and we have the Greek, Allanai ma diape homeretos, and so forth. And then the literal translation, but yes, by Zeus, said Meletus, and so forth. And then we have, this is what's great, we have a plain English version too in the parentheses. So you get the word-for-word correspondence. And if the sense is still escaping you, then you have this English one. And the way you use something like this is recursively, where you have because it depends how good your Greek is. Like for me, it's pretty comfortable to read these phrases and not look at any of the English stuff at all. But occasionally there might be a form that's like, I wonder what's meant by that, or is that being used some kind of like definitive and accusative in the way I'm not used to seeing in the kind of interesting reported speech that happens sometimes for stylistic reasons, that kind of thing. Like, okay, yeah, it means what I think. But if you're exiting the beginner stage, you might be like, looking at every single word to start with, and that's fine. That way you build up vocabulary. And then you have the plain English version to confirm your understanding, like homologo. It means I say the same thing, but you might not know it also means I admit it, so you get that, and you see homologo. You're going to see homologo a lot in Plato and in Xenophon, so that's no problem. And so you pick up this terminology that way, and as you go through, you learn more and more, and eventually you'll need the English less and less because your vocabulary will be rapidly increasing. And this is how you can use wonderful tools like an intermediate reader like this to advance through the intermediate stage. Yeah, so this is a wonderful text, the Epictetus I have over here. Wait for it. Wait for the Epictetus. There he is. And also by the wonderful Alberto Avanzini. He did both of these just this year. So it's the same format, very easy to read. The fact that they're also divided colummetrically, so each one of these is a colon, or at least a comma, a colon or a comma, and the number basically is a period. Each one of these chapters is essentially pretty much a perihodos, maybe more or less, it doesn't really matter. The point, though, is that since they're broken up by the whole phrase, like we think in phrases, in longer or shorter phrases. So when we have that horrible Venetian block, that text that's just fill the whole page with text, like paper is not so insanely valuable as it was 500 years ago. We can afford to use paper in this way especially to make our learning and acquisition of the language easier. So this is a wonderful, wonderful tool. I really recommend it. He tells you not just the key verbs, which is very interesting. He selects the key verbs, but most useful of all, the notable idiomatic expressions and syntax. Here's one I really love, which is the hotuper, ex hotuper, ever since when, ex hotuper egenomen, which is one phrase that Xenophon uses, ever since I was born. Just terrific stuff. My only complaint, Alberto, that's it? You only have 2 so far? Up to it. Make more of these. If, these are labor intensive, I know. But I think these 2 especially be very helpful to people. And the more there is of this, the better it's going to be for everyone as we continue to learn this most wonderful and beautiful ancient language, that of the ancient Greek. So, Karin Humanoida, check them out. If you get these books and you like them, please leave a comment here letting us know how you like, if you like them, and maybe Alberto will see this video, so your comments might get back to him. Maybe there's, certainly if you like it, I'm sure he would love to read that, but if you have places where you think it could be improved, maybe he would be interested in that feedback too. Anyway, I want to see how you guys like it, because I want people to learn ancient Greek, and I think these new editions by Alberto Avenzini will be useful for that goal. So, Karin Humanoida, Erroste.